So yesterday, as I was videoing about the garden and cleaning the soil and getting it ready so I could start planting, because they keep talking about food shortage, so I want to plant as much stuff as I can all winter long. Winter crops. We won't be able to have tomatoes because they won't grow here in the wintertime. Even in the greenhouse, they don't do very well. I've tried that, and it just gets too cold in there. And even with a little heater that I have just to keep it above freezing, doesn't help the tomatoes, because the tomatoes are pretty sensitive about their temperatures. But anyway, my granddaughter noticed these feathers when she was over there helping me video. And so we came over here, and this is one of the silver astrolopes, or Wyandottes, or it was a brahma. I think I have all the brahmas. I think this was the Wyandotte that was killed, and what took it out of the cage is beyond me, because this here, if you can see very well, down here on the bottom, this goes underneath this whole entire cage from front to back. You can't tell because it's got dirt all over the ground now. But somehow, something where those new zip ties are got under there and squeezed in. And it looks like they tried again. They get in here. So whatever is trying to get into the chickens tried again last night, even with this here. And it looks like they dug the dirt out that I even put back in here, so I don't know what it is. But we moved the chickens over to the big chicken house over here, and I put an alarm on the back side of it, so whatever would try to get in would set off the alarm and hopefully scare it off. And evidently it must have worked last night, because nothing got any of the chickens. Anyway, there's no feathers around here anyway. But the guineas have been coming back here, and I don't know why one of the guineas even got into the chicken pen, but they did. And I think that all the guineas are out running around now. But you can see, you can hear it come on as I come around. So obviously it helped deter whatever was trying to get in here off. So, and I even put extra chicken wire here low down and all. So once I finish getting this hog pen done here against this, it'd be a little hard for anything to get in around there. So walk away from that so it'll go off. It's solar powered, so the sun keeps it charged all the time. But there's the brahmas and the Wyandottes. There's 1, 2, 3 brahmas out, and there's a couple of them in the chicken house. The other chickens kind of chase them around a little bit. It'll stop here shortly once they get used to each other being out here. But there's one of the Wyandottes there, one of the hens. And in these brahmas, we have a rooster, that one right there, walking over there to that big, that is the rooster of the brahmas. So even when you get these from like your co-ops, your farm co-ops and stuff, they'll have a rooster now and then in the batch. They make mistakes when they're sexing these chickens. So it's not like they're perfect. None of us are perfect, but I don't mind because I used to order, when I would go to the feed store, I would always grab like 12 to 15 chicks because I always knew I would get at least one rooster out of the batch. But there's the rooster. That's the Brahma rooster. Now these chicks are pretty young yet, as you can see. And that Orpheton, she likes to pick on everybody. But they're doing all right. I mean, they're staying in their own groups, so they're kind of protect each other. She hasn't been picking on them as bad as she was before. She's in there with them right now. And then there's a Americana right there, one next to the Wyandotte. And then the little black cochins that we hatched out too. That's why I got these brahmas. In the first place was to go with these chicks, because I think I only had one chick hatch out, so I went down and got these brahmas. Actually, I just went to the feed store to pick up some chicks to go with that, with one. Because I don't like to raise them by themselves, because they really don't do good if you raise one chick by itself, unless you work with it every day, go in there and make a pet pretty much out of it. And so they have some kind of interaction with human. But if you just put them in a chick, in a brooder or whatever by themselves, they really don't do very well. They each other help each other go to water and go to food, and they keep each other warm when you have more than one. So that's why I got these brahmas, because we were going to order the Jersey Giants, and then when I went down to the feed store and saw the brahmas, I just decided, well, we would get the brahmas this year. Now I've raised Rhode Island Reds, New Hampshire Reds, Barred Rocks. We also got a bunch of those supposed to be a heritage breed, the Red Rangers, but I noticed, because we kept the hens, a lot of the hens and a couple of roosters, but I noticed every time I would hatch out one of those Red Rangers, the hens kept getting smaller and the roosters kept getting smaller, and we read more on about them, and they really don't get to full weight until they're about 2 years old. And so I decided we were going to go a different route. So I think that's why we bought the cochins, because they're more of a table bird, an egg and table bird. So that's why we got the cochins. And they're not aggressive or anything. I mean, you saw me go in there and take that hen out of her nest, that one that's trying to sit. And she's been, like I said, she's been trying to sit for the last 2.5 months. And I just keep taking her off the nest and taking the eggs out from underneath her. This is middle of September, and it's too late in the year to be hatching out chicks, even for a mama. That's, we could start getting snow in October. We haven't in the last 4 or 5 years, but we have gotten it before, so I'm not sure. Like I said when I was doing the other video, I'm not sure what our winter is going to consist of. If it's going to be a good winter or a hard winter. And the Farmer's Almanac didn't say a whole lot about it either. They more or less talked about the Atlantic area, getting a lot of cold weather there up in the northern part. up in the Michigan areas up that way. So, I guess. But I put them all over here because we did have one pulled out of the cage, and how that, whatever it was, got it, I don't know. So, but anyway, there's a little more explanation why we have the alarm, is to scare anything off that's here. I have a second alarm, and I'm thinking about putting it in that far corner of the property to where it seems like the deer come in on that corner. So I'm going to start doing that. And there's all the guineas all together. The 3 that I had in with these brahmas, and then dad and his 2 kids. So there's 6 guineas. And I was really surprised that the 3 lasted the night. When I woke up this morning and they were still around, I was really surprised, because the last time I put the guineas out with the other guineas, they both died. Something came in and killed them. I had a big pile of 2 piles of feathers, of nothing but feathers. And so I don't know if an owl came in and got them that night, but so far they've lasted 24 hours, and I'm hoping that they last another 24 hours. Anyway, please subscribe, push the notification bell, put in a comment, push the like button or the not like button, and we will catch you on the flip side.